Good morning and welcome to Fifth Quarter. I'm host Danny Neal, and as always, I got my partner in crime here with me today, my friend, my cohort, my boss at the rec center, my boss at Flagstaff High, and just a good guy, the man known in Northern Arizona simply as Coach Johnson. Good morning, Coach. How you doing, man?
Good morning, Coach. I'm doing well, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I'm at work, and I don't even work today.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? I like your location. I like the books in the background. I know that you a heavy reader, so I wonder how many of them you done read.
None. Hey, man, I don't even know what the book is back there, man. I was just trying to find a location, but it looks good. Yes, I read all those books back there. I'm very knowledgeable. Ask me any questions on any of them. I will be able to answer.
We'll save it for the end of the show. I'll definitely ask you one.
No, this ain't no question day. But anyway, man, how your week been, man? Things going well?
Oh, things are going good. It's just, as you know, we got the tournament this weekend, so been busy with that, trying to make sure that, getting the schedules right, got to get the officials right and all that good stuff. And then just bringing the opportunity to the kids of Northern Arizona to have some quality basketball here in town without having to travel. And so, you know how we do it. It's been a busy week with that. And then, of course, rainouts and all that good stuff as far as work goes. But things are good, man. How about your way?
Hey, man, it's been good. I've been doing like you. We've been just trying to get this tournament together. And, just so everybody knows, it's the Mountain Madness tournament. And, we bring teams in from all over Northern Arizona, all over the state. Got a team from Tucson, things like that. And, these kids go out and play and work on their skills all summer long. And we always have to go to either Phoenix or Vegas or New Mexico or somewhere to play. And, there are a few tournaments here in town, but just not enough. And for our girls, we're always out of town. So this gives them a chance, the last tournament of the summer session, to play at home in front of their friends and family. So if there's people in town want to see some good basketball, there'll be games going on at Flag High and Sonawa all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Come in, enjoy some good basketball, some good concession stand food, and got any scorekeepers out there? Hey, come hit us up and volunteer some time. We can use you. So, hey, man, it's just an exciting weekend and just moving on, man. My granddaughter started high school this week. One day she starts high school. The next day she turns 14. So just been that busy week, man, with school starting and everything.
It has been. And, I used to tease you about being half a father. And so now you being half a grandfather, when you pick her up, you see her, you drop off at school and don't even wish her a happy birthday. That's just half a grandfather. That's them senior moments right there, man. Come on now. We got to be better.
Hey, man, wait. That ain't the case, man. See, I knew you was going to bring that up. But what it was, man, she was so excited about going to high school first day. We were just talking about high school, So I was just following her lead, man. And then when she got out and everything, I'm like, man, I ain't wish my granddaughter happy birthday and get that happy birthday picture with her. But Lexi, happy birthday, baby. Love you. All right?
Happy birthday, Lex.
Yeah. So, hey, man, we just moving on. We got good things going on. We are involved in a few things. Like you say, the Flagstaff Hoops is going on right now. And we also are part of the Flagstaff Sports Foundation. And that's really huge around here. And we're coming up on our induction service and ceremonies for the 2020 class. So we got some good people coming in, man.
Yeah, we do. And, very deserving people. And our guest today, is one of the best that's done it. And so it's going to be just fun and exciting to be able to talk with him today. And especially for somebody like me to pick his mind and see what it's going to take so I can have some type of championship on the wall.
Man, I knew you had to go there. I know you had to go there. Well, hey, man, that's a great segue. And let's just move right on into our guest for today. This is a gentleman, man, that we've both known for a while. The guy's just a really, really good dude and has had a lot of success. He's done so much for the community, man. He's just funny as all get out, really good guy, a big guy who's just soft at heart. And so with that, man, it gives me great pride. And this is the only guy that we know that's asked to come on our show. And that's the coach, Rick Smith. You there, Rick?
Yeah, I'm there. I don't remember asking you, Danny, but I'm happy to be here just to make Coach Johnson happy.
Well, Coach, we definitely appreciate you spending some time with us this morning and coming on and just blessing us with your presence. So it's going to be fun. We're going to get into it, and we're just going to chop it up a little bit.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. And Rick, you know how we do this is just us. We just talk like we normally talk. This ain't nothing out the way, nothing unusual. This is just what we do, and you know that. So
I know that.
Yeah. But you know what, Rick? And let's talk a little bit about you. I know you don't like to talk about yourself a little bit, but this man here won 4 state championships at Flagstaff High for Flagstaff High School football. What was it, 81, 82, 83, and 84, if I'm correct?
It was. You're correct. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning
Right.
that.
But just doing my homework, your first year as a coach at Flag High School, you won the state championship?
No, my first year we won 11-1 and actually lost in the playoff to Corona del Sol, 13-8. So that was a heck of a year. So I was surprised that we didn't pull it off, and that's probably my most disappointing loss of all time. But I've had a few others, but that one really hurt.
Well, and I know, me and you talk all the time. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Your first team, who was your quarterback?
Greg Top.
Who was your running backs?
Oh, geez, I had Stan Gill and
Who went to Stanford? Both of them went to Stanford, correct?
They both went to Stanford on full scholarships, and I get the years get a little mixed up with me, but I think Tony Cullen was a fullback who got 1,000 yards because of Stan Gill. Everybody's keying on Stan, and that Tony could run, and we'd just give him the ball right up the middle, and he'd go forever. So, yeah, we didn't have to be a football genius to figure out how to win with the talent that we had.
Yeah. How many D1 prospects did you go through how many years were you at Flag High?
Well, I was an assistant for 6 years, and then the head coach for 5.
Mm-hmm.
D1s, quite a few, not as many as you may think. From this 83 team, we had Adam Holmes, who went to the academy, the Naval Academy, that became an admiral. We had Roger Teague the year before, who went to the Air Force Academy, who became a 2-star general. And then we had Greg and Stan, who went to Stanford. And we had a few others scattered out. But, our team was a blue-collar team, just to outwork the opponent. We weren't real shiny. We weren't real showy. We just wanted to get the job done. And our philosophy is, if you could get 4 yards of carry, you're not going to lose the game. So we did that, and we had to throw the ball every now and again in order to spread the defense out so we could run the ball. So that was kind of our philosophy.
Yeah, but you had Greg Top, who was your quarterback, who was 6'4", 6'5".
He was 6'4", and that was an anomaly. He had one of the best arms in the country, and Paul Wiggins, the head coach at Stanford at the time, came to campus. Funny story, at the same time that the coach from Nebraska was there, Dr. Tom Osborne and Dick Vermeil from UCLA. They were all on campus at the same time, and they wanted to look at Stan. They wanted to look at Top. They wanted to look at the program. So that was quite an ego builder for our whole program, especially me. So they decided to go with the education and go on to Stanford, the 2 you're talking about.
Right. And what's ironic about Greg Top, as great a quarterback as he ended up being the punter for Stanford. Am I correct?
Yeah, I don't think he took many snaps as quarterback. He had a great arm, incredibly good arm. Stanford was just transitioning into that sprint out, the run threat that you see now in every football program. And he was a pure pro drop back passer. And Stanford, under Jim Fossil, who went on to become the head coach of the Giants, Jim was the offensive coordinator, and he wanted to put in some of that California sprint out draw, bootleg, naked bootleg. He wanted to do a lot of stuff to spread the defense out. And I don't know if Greg fit into that. And this first year there, he had to sit behind John Elway, so that didn't help.
That's true, but it's a great advantage to have a punter with an arm like that.
Oh yeah, and he could punt. I mean, this kid was an athlete. You know, he could do it all.
Right. So, and you know, to be truthful, I haven't even done my homework. I was just here and so into Eagle football right there, so I just remember all this stuff. And
yeah,
so,
well, you probably remember more than I do.
well, and, hey, I was at every game for all 4 state championship seasons. I was at every state championship game. Had a brother-in-law. My brother-in-law actually played on those teams, and a cousin, Michael Shorty, who played on those teams.
Just love
yeah,
it.
yeah. So you know, like Mike was just a shining star of Arizona, not just Flagstaff. But Coach Johnson, you still there, bro?
Yeah, of course, I'm here.
Oh, you know, and you know, I didn't want to have Coach bring in too much because every time I talk to Coach about stuff back in the day, he tell me, man, I wasn't even born yet. I go back so far. So I can go back so far. So I have to watch myself, Rick.
And I was definitely born through them championship runs, and I was, you know, obviously a fan of the Eagles. Coach, you were mentioning that you were an assistant coach for 6 years prior to becoming a head coach. And when you became a head coach, you've had that immediate success, you know, one of the most winningest coaches as far as state championship goes that's came through Flagstaff. And so what was the difference between how you guys did things while you were assistant, and then when you took the helm, how did you get that immediate success?
That's a great question. And I've thought about that a lot. I have yet to meet an assistant who wanted a career in football to not think they could do a better job than the head coach is doing. I mean, that's just the culture. I could do better. I could do that. Well, unfortunately, I was one of those guys. And I knew before I was awarded and what a privilege to serve as a head coach. I knew exactly what I was going to do. Change the practice schedules, being a little bit more disciplined, being in a little bit better shape. You know, in those days, if you had 38, 39 football players, that was it. You couldn't platoon. You had to play both ways with some of the folks. And it's like Top. He was the punter and the quarterback. And so the defensive end was also the offensive guard. And, you know, back and forth. So you had to not wear them out, take it easy during the week, hold them back from hitting too much. So then when you got to Friday night, you were ready to go, and they were like a caged animal. You open up the cage and here we go. We're ready just to explode. And that was kind of the difference between me and over contact during the week. Well, I said, we're going to practice an hour and a half. Now, it may take you 3 hours to get that hour and a half in, but that's up to you. So we're going to run this play, and we're going to run it 3 times perfectly. If one person messes up, we're going to run it again. So here's our goals for today's practice. So we on offense, once we go to offense, we're going to run a dive, we're going to run off tackle, we're going to throw a few passes, whatever trick plays, whatever we're going to prepare for the game. And I wouldn't prepare anything we weren't going to do during the upcoming game. Mm-hmm. That's what we'd practice, and that's what we'd get done right. And we do that every day correctly. It's not rocket science. It's just making sure you don't make any mistakes, although they do happen, but you try to mitigate the level of mistakes so you can get into the game and know that you can count on everybody.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I'm over here taking notes, so well, I can get on that wall, Coach.
You're one of the best. I tell you what, I would have been picking your brain if I was still coaching. You've had incredible success at the level you're at, and so has Danny at the youth level. I'm telling you, you guys do one thing more than, and I've always envied your relationship with kids and their families. I strive for that and was successful on some occasions, but you guys are fair, honest, and you treat the kids like every one of them is special. And That's something I've always adhered to. So congratulations to both of you two.
Well, thank you. And every last one of them are special, Coach. And I just see how my brother-in-law and some of the other players that played for you, how they react when they see you. And it's special. And I know I must take care for you. People don't understand. We talk to these kids about the things you do now, the things you accomplish in high school now will follow you the rest of your life. And they don't think about that. But I see 40 and 50-year-old men still talking about them state championship games.
Yeah.
You know? And so this is a lesson for these young folks, man. You got to enjoy this. You got to take advantage of your high school years, and education first. And this athletics is very important, and it'll follow you the rest of your life.
Well, there's a reason. You know, I coached at all levels.
Right.
And I coached 5 years in AU as a field position. And let me tell you, the true football, the true athlete is in high school, because you don't know if you're going to ever play on Saturdays. You don't know if you're going to make it to college. You're playing for the pure love of the game. You're missing out on buying a car. You're missing out on being with your girlfriend. You're missing out on having dinner with your family. Whatever it is, you're sacrificing those things to play a sport that you love. That's got to mean something. And all of our coaches understood that and respected and honored the kids that made that leap. Well, those kids need something in return. And from the starter to the Stan Gills and the David Winsleys, all the way down to the person that held the bag, they were all just as important during the week as you were on Friday night crossing the goal line in the dome. And I think that's really important once you understand that. But it's the pure, to me, I used to call it the last frontier of athletics. It's the pure reason people want to be there is to play athletics because of the love of the game and the camaraderie and the lessons learned from being on a team sport at a certain level of competition.
Right.
Boy, sorry, I was on my soapbox.
No, that's it. That's why you're here, man.
You're good.
That's why you're here. That's good stuff. And just the family aspect of it. I mean, we talk about this a lot, and especially in the last 4 or 5 years, how this basketball court, this football field is a sanctuary for some of these kids to get them away from some of their problems that they're dealing with otherwise. And sometimes when family situation ain't right, you get that family on the court, you get that family on the field. And it takes a coach to really understand how important that is and to see the effects.
Well, and I think you need to separate. In those days, all of the coaches were teachers. So if you saw one of our players in the hallway, the last thing in the world I want you to do is stop and start talking about football. You can check with Georgie on this. We just talked about their day, their family, their studies, whatever it is. But when you hit the field, it was an hour and a half of total focus on football. That's it. There is no trouble in your social studies class. There's no girlfriend trouble. There's nothing going on. It's total focus on football. All I'm asking them for is an hour and a half of their day, total focus, everybody. And that seemed to work. You know, I just wanted to make sure every kid, you know how it is some days now, and if I get talking too long, throw up your hand.
No, this is your show, man.
You know how it is now. If parents if they have a family dinner and the dad says to the young man, hey, how's it going out there? I see you're not starting. Well, yeah, I'm not starting because the coach likes the other guy. The other parents are more influential. A multitude of reasons. But the real reason is a coach would be nuts not to play the best player. The real reason is you can't look your father in the eye and say, Dad, I'm not as good as the guy in front of me.
Right.
However, my position coach has told me how I can get better, and I'm working on it. Mm-hmm. And someday I'll be there. And that's the lesson to be learned here is don't be a coward.
Right.
Talk to your family and tell them, have faith in the coaches. And if you feel like you're being treated unfairly or you're not getting the same amount of reps or what. You know, if a high school coach, you can't prepare one team to play. You got to prepare everybody to play because you don't know what's going to. So don't be cowards. Look your father in the eye and say, I'm going to get better. And if your coach, your position coach can't tell you what to do to get better, you let me know. And we'll go have a talk with him one-on-one, the three of us, and we'll figure out what's going on here. But that's the only guarantee I made to them. But that seemed to work. And I got to tell you something else. It always helped when you were winning all the time, because then the parents can't say too much about what's wrong.
I don't know, Coach. I done been in some situations where we done had a big winning streak, and I done still have parents come up talking about why ain't they kid playing, even though their kid just played the whole fourth quarter or whatever because of, you know, our leads and everything. So these parents is a little bit different than
yeah, they may have changed, but I did something to include the parents. I put in right away. First thing I did was 2 nights a week study hall, because I couldn't stand to practice somebody all week and not have them make their grade. So 2 nights a week they'd study hall. I remember on Wednesdays, an hour film session just with the moms. No dads, just with the moms, and talk about, here's what your son's doing. And by the way, here's the shoulder pads, here's the knee pads, here's all the protective padding. Feel it. Here's the helmet. Make sure you look at it, touch it, feel it, and understand this is what your son's in. And that always made him feel better. Then I would have a barbecue that the dads would put on right before the game, so they can feel like they're a part. You know, everybody, it's a family thing. Everybody needs to feel a part of it. And then we would look at film, the coaching staff with parents, with dads on Monday nights, if they would want to come down and join in that. But one thing I said, you can watch a film, but there's nobody in here is going to second guess a coach on why you didn't do this or why you didn't do that. If we do that, then we've got to end these sessions. And those were kind of the ground rules, but we got the parents involved, the moms involved, the teachers at the school involved to help with study hall. And we'd invite them to be a teacher of the game, and they can walk the sidelines and they can be a part of the game.
That's a good idea.
And that's how we try to include at least the Flag High community involved. And I think those are intrinsic values that they don't cost you a thing. They're easy to do. Then, you know, when you want to have barbecue, you make a call and all of a sudden it's done.
Right.
You know.
And you know, before we go on further, I know you mentioned it, and I want to make people understand. After you left Flag High, you did go to NAU, where you coached for Coach Quintera, who is going to be one of our inductees into the Hall of Fame this year. And you were the roommate of Andy Reid, who is the Super Bowl champion coach this year. So you and Andy Reid were roommates. So you do have some connections.
Well, I haven't talked to Andy Reid 20 years, but Andy, he moved here and from BYU, and his wife was going to be a month or so, so he just stayed with me. Great guy. And then we had Billy Callahan, who was the line coach, who came in after Andy left, and he went on to become the head coach of Oakland Raiders, was the head coach at Nebraska. And then Marty Morningwig, who actually served as my grad assistant when I was the linebacker coach, and I was also a recruiting coordinator. And Marty went on to be the head coach at the Detroit Lions. And then I always considered Jimmy Fostel, who went to
the Giants.
Giants, is one of my mentors and really good friends. And unfortunately, he passed away last year.
Wasn't Simac on there?
No, Simac was at NAU way before.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you like how Coach Johnson.
Don't give me that old.
You do it, Coach. Is anyway.
You know.
No, not Simac. It was Shanahan.
Yeah, Shanahan was again before me. He was an assistant for Joe Salem.
That's right.
Years ago. So if you look at the pro coaches,
they came through
NAU, and Quintera was a big part of that. Quintera he was really good as far as giving people responsibility and letting people coach. And I've been around long enough, especially in intercollegiate athletics, where there's a lot of coaches that don't do that. They're standing over you in drills and they're doing this and doing that. The only thing about Quintera, his best friends were Coach Baker, Coach Cush, and those guys from ASU when he was there. And he'd have them come up to our practice and ask him to go around to the drills, and our position coaches would go berserk. I don't need Frank Cush looking over my shoulder. I don't need this and that. And it was all in good fun. It wasn't ugly, but it was kind of interesting. I kind of like it.
All right. So we only got a few more minutes. We got to go to our special feature. But before we do, can you give a shout out for our Flagstaff Sports Foundation banquet coming up?
Sure. And I appreciate that. Danny, who chairs our committee, and Tyrone, who's on the committee as well. We had up until I think a week ago, we had like 6 board members, Mike Cromer and Mike Flournoy and Bill Gaylord. We had really a good group.
Troy
really
Lawrence.
The culture. Troy has been an outstanding member. He's really a hard worker. And but this banquet is going to be at Twin Arrows on the 26th, I think at 6 o'clock. And we're going to induct the class of 20, which Danny can go through. But it's not going to be like the old, for those of you that have been to the old ones where you get awake by your forehead hitting the top of the table. We're not going to be that. We're going to cut it off at 5 minutes, and everybody gets to get in. And there's a beautiful plaque at the airport. That's the most visible spot for our presence. And it's going to be a great evening. We'll have introductions and inductees, and it really, if you really, like, I've looked at the whole program, it's really a look into the depth and scope of Flagstaff athletics. It's not just players and coaches. We have people that have helped in the press, that have been family help, community help, and it's just been terrific. So our sports foundation I think it's really worth coming to, and I think you will enjoy it. You can call Troy Lawrence, and there's a website on the sports foundation up on the board, up on the web, and you can get your tickets ordered that way. And, sure love to have everybody come out because it's going to be a terrific evening. Yeah.
Right. And this year we are inducting Greg Turner, as we talked about, Bob Overhart, who ran the sidelines for you.
Yeah.
Ed Vesley, who's been a long-time coach, Mike Flournoy, Larry Quintera, and your 1983 state championship team. So it's going to be a great evening. And with that, it is now time for our Coach Johnson's Golden Nugget inspirational question of the week for Coach Smith.
Thank you for that introduction, Coach. I mean, all the done and all that. Coach, at the end of the segment, we typically ask a question, just a golden nugget, something that you can leave the viewers with. Today, though, because I'm gonna be a little selfish, I'm gonna ask you 2.
Okay.
So the first one is simply, as a head coach, what do you look for in a player?
What a great question. And I could go on and I won't forever. I suppose I alluded to it a little bit earlier in my comments. Number 1 is focus, and 2 is work ethic. You know, you can build, they call it athleticism, which really isn't a word, but his athletic ability, put him in the weight room. You can only get so fast, but you can perfect that speed and work on hands if you're a receiver, whatever. But you can work on athletic skills. I mean, some people are blessed without having to do as much work as others. But I think if you're focused and you're dedicated and you stay humble, even the big stars we had, I mean, we had some really big stars like Stan Gibb. He was always as humble as could be. And he walked down the hallway, you couldn't tell. He was a superstar with every college in the nation looking for him. You know,
as big as that boy was, you knew something.
But I mean, that's probably what I'm looking for: focused and dedication and loyalty to your teammates. It all kind of blends in together. I sum it up by saying great character.
Where does discipline fit in?
Well, I think that kind of, your coach your position coach and your head coach have to help do that. You have to set the boundaries, and you can't, so many times coaches want to be their buddies. They got plenty of buddies. They want a leader. They want somebody who's going to take them from point A to point B and fair and honest and make sure that happens. And that's I think that's what happens to you. We used to spend 2 nights out at Camp Colton. Every team would go out there once at the beginning of the season and once at the end. And it was a kind of a circle, and it was just closed off to just coaches and players. Nobody else was there. And each young man would stand up and say, "Why are you doing this? What in the world are you playing football for? What? Tell us about that." And there wasn't a dry eye in that room.
Yeah, we've done that too.
Yeah, and it was pretty powerful.
Very
pretty powerful. So that's what I'm looking at.
Absolutely. Love that answer there, Coach. And I apologize to Coach Neal chiming in when it's not his segment. So.
Yeah, what is wrong with him? Oh, he's the chairman. He's the chairman of the commission.
He is something else. But here's the second part of that question, Coach. And it's something that I've asked you before, but I'm going to ask you in front of everybody. How do I get a state championship like you've got 4 of them, man? Share the wealth. You got 4 of them. I need to get 1. How do I get it?
Please help me, Coach.
Well, I don't know you because you've been really successful. You're successful at the state level without having to win a bunch of championships. But I tell you, the number 1 criteria to win a state championship: players. No, I mean, you got to have great players to win. I take a lot of credit for winning. I didn't play one down. Let's think it. You didn't shoot one basketball,
right.
But I think you get great players and you work them. But basketball games are not won or football games, whatever, on Friday night. It's won Monday through Thursday. Mm-hmm. And work ethic at practice is 10 times more valuable than during the game. So it just becomes muscle memory and attitude that carries over from practice to the game. And we beat Florham Wells in that 83 championship game. We had 0 people go on to 4-year Division I schools. They had 8.
Wow. But
because our kids wanted to win more, and they were dedicated, and they were convinced that it's mind over matter. Somebody can be bigger than you, stronger, faster. So what? There's only one football. Now go get it. That made the difference. So the advice I'd give young coaches is win it Monday through Thursday. Don't just carry it over and be consistent. That's all.
Excuse me.
Awesome.
Excuse me. Coach Johnson,
go ahead.
Coach Johnson asked that. You're not giving advice to young coaches.
He's young. Compared to me, he's young. And Danny, you're going to be 80 this year. He's going to be young.
I'm going to get you, Rick.
Yeah, we have.
Hey, Rick, we appreciate you being on the show, man. We got to get you back. We got to get you back. After the Sports Foundation banquet, we'll come back. We'll talk some more, man.
I just told you everything I know, so I don't know why you'd want me back, but I'll come.
Next time we'll get a couple players to come on with you. Let them really tell about you.
Oh, I have to screen them first. We'll get Georgie on there and Stan Gill. Yeah, top.
We're going to try. We'll try. Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. I'll call you after we get through.
Yeah,
it's a treat for us.
Yeah, definitely a treat for us, Coach. Definitely appreciate you. Hey,
thanks,
and look, I'm gonna bind you too. That BMW, I'm still waiting for mine.
I don't know why you're not using mine.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, see you guys.
All right, Coach. I guess you gotta go get on the links, huh?
Oh man, we still trying to get the stuff together for this tournament.
The links call.
No, we got it. It was a 2:20 tea time, man, but I couldn't do it because we got too much stuff to do.
There you go. All right, Coach.
Yeah, well, hey, I don't know what everybody else got to do. We got to prepare for the tournament this weekend. Be sure you come out Also, that Nabby dinner is tonight. If anybody's over at Twin Arrows Casino, stop by and get him some props and some love. But other than that, thing I do know, y'all ain't got to go home.
But you gotta leave here. Bye. See ya.